sometimes the problem is that someone cannot handle even their own body weight, and then you run into the problem that now the person thinks, well, I'm not even picking up any weight, and my hip still hurts or my knee still hurts. What gives? So then I'll say, well, the problem is that your joint is not ready to even tolerate your body weight, and that happens.
All right. What up, my boy?
How you doing, my brother?
Yo. All right. I'm Coach Jay.
I'm Coach Raul.
And this is Joint Effort.
All right.
What up, man?
Nothing much, man.
Hey, good job today on your coaching calls,
thank you,
dude.
brother.
Very good job, man. Today, I had a few things come up in the chat box a little bit there, and I did see a YouTube comment. So thank you very much for that.
Oh yeah, thank you.
But load management.
Yeah.
So today, Johnny talked about, he's in phase 3, working on getting to phase 4. And, he's using some pretty good weights.
Yes.
I think I saw him doing like 60 pounds on a hip thrust.
Yeah.
So he's been having some flare-ups.
Yeah.
So today you gave a nice breakdown of how load management works. So let's just dive into that a little bit, man.
Yeah. So load management is a very important topic. So if in the case of Johnny, he is in our Hip Arthritis Recovery Program. And in our process, we encourage people to get to lifting weights at some point, just because you need to get stronger in your glutes. You need to get stronger in other muscles, but the glutes are super important here. So once I checked off a few boxes, like the form was good, the exercise selection was good too, and he was still having some flare-ups, specifically his TFL, which would be kind of the front side pocket area of the hip. Some people will experience some pain there when they're exercising.
Yep.
In his case, I believe that he's lifting 60 pounds on hip thrust. He's doing several sets, several repetitions. His volume or tonnage is probably super high.
Yeah.
So what I said to him is, as long as you are reducing your amount of work enough and you're not lifting so heavy, you're probably going to be able to decrease the irritation on the TFL.
Correct.
This is something that actually a lot of physical therapists and a lot of coaches kind of tout load management. But in this case, we try to go from fixing the muscle imbalance into going into a load management strategy so that the person can improve. And load management can mean a lot of things. In the context of someone who's already exercising, it could just mean something as simple as lifting less weight. So going 50%. Now, in the context of someone who's phase 1, someone who's still using these kind of strategies, you were just talking about this to me, and I love the way that you put it. So now, there's load management to go from like 60 to 30 or 60 to 20 pounds. But what about load management when even body weight hurts?
So this is a very good one. I like this one. And it's cool because shout out to my people in phase 1 of our recovery programs. Phase 1's all about calming down irritation and controlling the pain, right? The symptoms of your arthritis.
Yep.
So we talk a lot about offloading, and I know most people cringe, they don't want to use a cane or a walker, but this is why. Again, load management. So this is where we go into the negative scale, right? From 0 to -1, -2, so on and so forth. So we're really trying to control the amount of pressure that you're having to put through the joint itself. And that does 2 things, right? Stops the irritation, but also gives you a chance to add the appropriate pressure through the joint. So a walker, a cane, and crutches. Now, crutches will offload almost 100%. You have your upper body hoisted here, and then of course your hands to help. So you're really offloading the joint, whether it be the hip or the knee. A walker would probably be the next best thing because you're offloading and you have more stability, right? Crutches can be a little odd for some people. And then the cane is kind of the one that's like, it's all right. It still helps you offload, but just not as much as the crutches or the walker. So when we talk about load management in phase 1, that's exactly what we're going for, to help you to be able to put yourself in the position to control those pressures through the joint.
Yeah. And it's really cool because sometimes the problem is that someone cannot handle even their own body weight. And then you run into the problem that now the person thinks, well, I'm not even picking up any weight, and my hip still hurts or my knee still hurts. What gives? So then I'll say, well, the problem is that your joint is not ready to even tolerate your body weight, and that happens. This can happen especially with populations that are overweight or that are underweight, meaning that they have very, very little muscle mass on their bone. So using a strategy like the walker is super, super useful.
It's really good.
I also find that the faster someone comes around to just comes to terms with actually using their crutches or their walker, they tend to progress a little bit faster. Where I see symptoms linger the most is when someone is using a cane and they're not really well suited for a cane.
Right.
I'm talking about someone who gets flared up within the first 2-3 minutes of walking or even less, or someone who can get into like pain just from sitting.
Yeah.
Like they could be having this conversation and just from sitting for a little while, oh my God, my hip is killing me.
They start getting this going.
Yeah, I need to go lay down. So it's if you're someone who has the situation, this is just a freebie for you. If you're super flared up in your hip or your back or your knee, and you haven't tried using a walker or crutches, give it a try. Just give it a go. I promise you, a couple of weeks of doing this, or maybe even less, can get you into the next step.
I'm gonna throw Doc in here, man. We kind of been picking at Dr. David. He messed up his toe pretty bad a couple of weeks ago. And so we come in the morning and we're getting some coffee, and you see Doc walking around with a crutch. We're like, what? So he definitely practices what he's preaching, and the offloading actually got him walking normal in like a week and a half. And it was cool to see that like in real time.
Yeah.
And especially from someone that, they've built these principles, and to see him practice what he's preaching. And it was cool to see him get back to walking normal in about a week and a half just by offloading with a crutch. So I think two things: breaking your ego.
Yes.
Ego death. Like let it die. Like don't remember who you were back in high school or middle school. Like this happens to us all the time in the powerlifting realm.
Yeah.
People will see us hit a nice big set, and they'll come up and be like, you know what? In high school, that was me, but no longer. So you just want to go ahead and think of the new normal and how you're going to get to doing things like the 60-pound hip thrust like Johnny. How you're going to get to that is just making sure you're managing the load or the forces you're putting through your joint. So I definitely think that offloading is very important, and it is a concept of load management. And it's just the program's beautiful. And if you are part of the program, then you know that there are phases. If you're not a part of our program, I'm sure that you've seen some videos where Dr. David is talking about, he's giving you guys like the keys. He has a weekly live that he's doing where he's breaking down certain strategies to get you out of basic things, knee meniscus tear, rotator cuff. It just doesn't apply to the arthritis programs we have here, but just in general, always manage your load. Let the ego die. So if you're lifting a bunch of weight and you notice that afterwards you're paying for it, just try that strategy. It doesn't mean that you should stop lifting or you should stop exercising or doing some of the things in phase 3, but definitely just back off on the weight a little bit. Use a weight that you can control, and without a doubt that you could tolerate pressing or squatting, whatever it may be, but that weight's something that you can tolerate.
Yeah, that Jay said right there is tolerating or tolerance, low tolerance. Don't get it wrong. You are treating yourself when you're offloading, and this is a huge concern that people have. How am I gonna get stronger if I'm not carrying my full body weight all the time? That's not the intents and purposes of walking or getting around.
Right.
If you're treating a problem, that just should be something that you do as is a necessity.
Right.
To go to the kitchen and do stuff, or like do stuff that you need to do with your hands without an offloader, that's fine if you have to do it that way. But offloading is a treatment, and that's very important to convey. Going to load 0 or like negative 0, like offloading to infinity, in a backwards way. That's important too.
Very important.
If you've ever tried a push-up and you've never been good at push-ups, and now you can do them kind of well, you know that you probably started with pushing off a wall first. You were not really doing push-ups with your body weight, and then you gradually got to the floor. So that's kind of what you want to do for your hip. You want to increase that load gingerly, so that you can give your joint time to adapt. But
exactly,
super important topic. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have more conversations
Yeah.
about load management, because is that reminder that people will often need, even myself. So
us especially, man.
us especially. So thank you all for listening, whoever's out there listening on YouTube or on our community. We hope these conversations are serving you guys well. We'll continue to have many more of these, and this will come straight from the community, straight from questions that you guys ask. So yeah, keep on going on.
Hey, well, keep
Coach.
managing that load, my friend.
Absolutely.